Hey Fight fans, this is Will Kinsler from the team at Steel City Interactive. You might recognize me as Rackzilla if you're on our Discord server. I'm the Director of Global Communications at SCI, and I'm here to show you what we've been up to lately with ESBC development. Today we're going to talk about camera angles, improvement to punches, inside fighting, and more. Let's jump into it.
That's right, we're opening up with this modern classic matchup between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, who you're seeing in the ring together in ESBC for the very first time.
Here you can see we've got a variety of camera angles in the works. There's a wide angle view that shows all the action for those of you who want to see as much as possible. There's a close-up view that really highlights those toe-to-toe moments and beautiful game visuals. We've even got a cinematic camera that gives you a number of perspectives to view what's happening inside the ring. We'll continue to experiment and add more cameras to offer a variety of ways to view gameplay. When it comes to authentic boxing, another area we wanted to give attention to is fighting on the inside. As boxing fans, we appreciate those moments where fighters are right on top of each other, looking for that opportunity to throw a shot that will connect at just the right time. It's still a work in progress, but here's a glimpse of our first pass at fighting on the inside. You can see how the fighters shift stances as they get into close-range combat. With our physics system coming into play, short hooks and uppercuts might land, or they could glance off an opponent, depending on your position.
And now we've got a fighter we've never shown before in ESBC. I'm really excited to announce joining...
Whoa, hold on a second, Will. Get out of here. If it's a fighter announcement, I'm in charge, ladies and gentlemen, of making that announcement. Introducing to you, for the first time ever, with Esports Boxing Club, from the Steel City himself, the home of Steel City Interactive. He is the former welterweight champion of the world. Welcome, Kell Brook! And there's the bell for round two. Well, we've just...
How about this fantasy matchup between the Cobra and Sweet Hands? We're showing Carl Froch and Caleb Plant in ESBC for the first time as we talk through this next section.
Fighters will tell you that where a shot lands can make a big difference, and the same is true in ESBC. There are impact areas on an opponent's face, so a glancing blow will have a reduced chance to cause serious damage, where that big shot to the temple might just be enough to bring the fight to a close. If you want to have a great boxing game, the punches have to both look and feel right. That's something we believe, and that's something we hear often from you as well. That's why we'll work on and polish punches until we're satisfied they meet our standard.
In a previous update, we showed off our 36 punch controls. After consultation with world champion boxers and improvement to our punch mechanics, we now have more than 60 individual punches. We've put significant effort into additional capture to help get us there, and this will continue to be an area of focus of development.
Power punches are now available for every single punch type. Power jabs, straights, hooks, and uppercuts. It's all there. Want to throw that power jab to slow an advancing opponent? Now you can. Maybe you'd like to set up a trap to land that big right hand to end the fight. It's up to you when to put a little something extra on your punches. Just make sure you don't get carried away so you still have some energy in those championship rounds. We've talked a lot about the process of scanning fighters and how that helps us create lifelike visuals. And that's true, but we don't only rely on scans. Our team has worked out the finer details when it comes to visual fidelity. You can see individual muscles flexing when punches are thrown. There's real-time body and facial deformation when impactful punches land. We believe these are difference makers when it comes to creating an immersive boxing experience, and it's important to us to take the time to touch on these areas.
Now it's time to hop in and answer a few of your questions about ESBC. Josh asks, how does the judging system work? Well, Josh, we're not ready for a deep dive on judging today, but I can tell you that there will be a variety of outcomes at the end of fights. There are multiple judges. They may not see a fight the same way, so you'll have to be thoughtful about your game plan so you don't end up in a draw or on the wrong end of one of those majority decisions. More on that in the future. Shy760 asks, will we be able to change the button layout? So the controls we showed in the last dev walkthrough are our current default, and we are pretty happy with them, but we're actively testing alternate control options. We aren't 100% locked in on anything, and we'll continue to test options and read feedback when it comes to what you're saying about controls.
Agalos P has a question about DLC. Well, Agalos, it's not time yet to talk about DLC plans. However, we do want to touch on the roster and some of the speculation we've seen. We've signed a lot of fighters and have made several roster announcements over the last year, and have even signed fighters we've yet to reveal. Some of you have been following our announcements and have said things like, there's no way all of these fighters will be in ESBC when it drops. And if you've shared a comment like that, you're correct. There will be boxers who are included in the game at launch, and some who will be a part of our DLC rollout over time. Most boxers who aren't in at launch will be paid DLC, but there will also be some free DLC to look forward to. So, what can we tell you right now about the ESBC release roster? As we've said, we're working toward the largest roster of licensed fighters ever in a boxing game. In order to totally lock down our roster, we have to get fighter scans into our development pipeline and approved, working around boxers' busy schedules to do so. All of this, of course, has been challenging during the ever-changing COVID landscape. That means today, we don't have a finalized list of boxers who will make the released roster. Now, we know a top priority for many of you is making sure some of the best fighters in the sport are in ESBC on day one when you purchase the game. So you'll see Canelo, Ali, Fury, Wilder, Terrence Crawford, Joe Frazier, Roy Jones, Lomachenko, Claressa Shields, Katie Taylor, and more the very first time you play. And we'll continue to share more of our finalized roster as we get closer and lock in those names. But we want to make sure you understand our philosophy around the roster and where we're at right now. Before we go, we want to thank you for your continued support and belief in us as we work to bring boxing back to gaming where it belongs, as well as for your patience so we can make sure we deliver the most authentic experience possible. Make sure you head over to Steam and add ESBC to your wish list. There's a link down there below.